Welcome to the 5-Minute Salute. Today's segment is sponsored by the Military Affairs and Veterans Department of the City of Jacksonville. Harrison Conyers and the team squaring away our veterans with the benefits they earn through their military service. Joining me remotely, talking about veterans, is Joe Byerly with From the Green Notebook. Joe, how are you?
I'm great, Chris. How are you doing today?
It's good to see you. Another Sabre 6. So for those that don't know this, I commanded the same unit in Germany and Afghanistan a couple years ahead of Joe, and he just went out there and did a great job and recently retired. So congratulations on your retirement. But for our bigger audience that don't know Joe yet, so tell us where you're from originally and what you do in the military.
Yeah, I'm from Savannah, Georgia. Commissioned into the Army in December of 2003, commissioned the Armor Branch, and did a couple different deployments to Iraq, Afghanistan. And then about the last 5 of the 7 years that before I retired, I was in the Special Operations community serving at Joint Special Operations Command, doing some amazing things with them and those people. And then the last 2 years, followed in your footsteps, Chris, and ended up commanding 4th Squadron, 2nd Cav Regiment in Germany. Amen. So that's my career in 30 seconds.
Well, thanks for that, Joe, and toujours près to you. Everybody else look that up. It's French. So Joe, From the Green Notebook, it's been something you've created. There's a huge following. For those that don't know, because we are an international show, because I interviewed somebody from Prague and then somebody in Singapore last week. What is From the Green Notebook?
Yeah, so as you know, Chris, the Green Notebook is a government-issued notebook that we receive in the military. We get it from our supply rooms, and typically you use it for writing down notes, from meetings, your to-do list, after-action reviews, like writing those things down. And what I realized was these notebooks actually represented years for many people, sometimes decades, like yourself and myself, of hard lessons won. Especially lessons on leadership. And so started the website originally From the Green Notebook as a way for me to blog and share my things. And a couple friends started asking me if they could post on the site. Next thing you know, I started getting emails from people that I didn't even know asking to post, not just here in the United States, but also internationally with our allies and partners. And then eventually I had to ask for help. And so to this day, really the heart of From the Green Notebook, it's the blog side of it is run by really a bunch of junior and mid-grade officers, and they've just continued to pass the torch since I passed it on to them, and then it allows me to focus on my writing, creating, and the podcast.
Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate it because I know I benefited from it, and I know other folks have, and just you taking that initiative and having that creativity has paid forward a generation, and no doubt. So my son was in the military, and he was in that community, soaking up all that information. So I know we're limited on time, and we're going to blow into in longer form in a later date. So you do a Sunday letter, and it's great because it's very concise. It's got learning lessons. For me, there's a lot of personal reflection and professional reflection I do. How important is reflection for a leader?
Oh, it's huge, Chris. And if you think about it, whenever leaders or anybody, you go into an experience and you're learning and it's hard, you're sweating, you basically take a sponge and you dip it into a bucket of water. And that bucket of water represents that experience. And then, in the Army, especially or in the military, immediately you go from that job to the next job. You maybe take 30 days in some instances or 2 weeks. And then even the higher up you go, sometimes it's just a couple hours before you go into the next job. Yep. And, you basically just take that sponge, and instead of squeezing it into your own bucket, you may get a couple drops in. You then go into the next bucket and dip it in to that experience. And so you're really not maximizing all the learning that comes from that experience. And so, reflection is an opportunity to slow down a little bit and, just crack open a notebook and start writing down, what you're learning, what you're feeling. And it's a practice, I've been writing for a long time, but the actual practice of daily journaling isn't something I picked up until 2021. And now I can sit here and it's amazing the insights you have from years of, now 4 years of journals that I can go back and see what I was experiencing, what I was feeling in that moment.
That's awesome. So I told some friends, I saw my calendar, I'm like, well, they're like, who are you interviewing this week? I said, Joe Byerly. And they're like, oh, that Joe. And so the question the people are asking is, what are you working on now, or what are you going to be doing here in the near future with all your endeavors? Now you have this retirement time on your hands.
Yeah, we were talking right before you hit the record button, and It sounded great. Hey, I'm getting out of the Army. I'm going to follow my dream of becoming a writer. And then about 6 months before retirement, it became a reality that I got to figure out how to do this. And thankfully, New York Times bestselling author Ryan Holiday just popped into my life and essentially asked me like what I was doing next, and kind of like to learn from him and to help him out. And so I'm currently working on a book with Ryan right now that will be coming out in the next couple of years. And so I'm learning the process of book writing through him. And then, for my own stuff, the podcast, continue to record and meet new guests. And then I've got a book coming out this summer on the hero's journey and how that applies to us as we try to shed an identity, or anyone who's trying to shed an identity, whether it's in the corporate world or in the military, and then really dig down to what makes you Chris and what makes me Joe as you go to that next chapter. And so that's that. And then, as you know, we talked about the Sunday emails. I'm really examining just the allure of power and what effects that has on our character and our lives if we're not careful and intentional with it.
No, I appreciate it. So, Joe, how do folks find you and find some of your work so they can start following you and seeing what you're doing and benefit from all the things you're passing on to not only just this community, but all the other communities that are out there in the professional world, the nonprofit space, and just those that are just curious?
Yeah, so you can go to fromthegreennotebook.com. We've got over 900 articles. It's like, I joke around sometimes and say it's like the Harvard Business Review from people that actually do the stuff every single day. Right. And so there's over 900 articles by military practitioners on that site. I've got 2 books on Amazon right now. I've got My Green Notebook, Know Thyself Before Changing Jobs, which has done really well. We've sold thousands of copies. It's a 30-day journal that really focuses on that experience, what we were talking about. Yeah. I've got the Leader's 90-Day Notebook, this thing that I'm hoping kickstarts the habit of journaling with busy people. It's a pre-formatted journal. And the idea is after 90 days, you just take off with it and do your own thing. And then, the podcast is available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. And then one last thing, Chris, because I'm an avid reader, all this stuff behind me, we have the monthly reading list email. I've been recommending 3 to 5 books a month since 2017. There's like over 7,000 people subscribe to that. And it's a great way to figure out books that are coming out and books maybe you missed a couple of years ago that could help you lead with the best version of yourself.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I look at you, and then there are a couple other folks at what you're reading to kind of screen out, because we're limited on time, right? In our work week and weekends. So that helps me. I try to read between 2 to 5 books per month. So that allows me to focus in the subjects. So I'd highly encourage folks to look at our show notes, we'll have your contact information and all that information for all the different things that you worked on and are available for folks to dial in and follow. So, hey, Joe, number one, thanks for accepting my invitation to be on the show. Number 2, thank you for your service to the nation, and most importantly, what you're doing in your post-military journey. It's hugely important because you are impacting people's lives. So I applaud you, and I look forward to continue to stay in touch and see what you're doing.
Yeah, likewise, Chris. It's great to reconnect again. I think we actually talked. We've talked a couple of times through email over the years, and I think it was like 2012, 2013 when we first came into contact with each other. So it's been great, and congratulations to you as well.
Well, thank you very much. All right, folks, you like what you heard, please share us, connect with Joe and I on LinkedIn, other forms of social media. Take a look at what he's doing from the Green Notebook, and also in our show notes for all the other contact information that Joe has pushed out to you. What a great way to give back to our professional forum, whether you're in military, government, non-government space, or just in the business profession, you can learn from everybody. So please share if you like us, and live with gratitude.
When they leave us for battle, we await their return. When their embrace is gone, we imagine them with us. Some don't come back. We grieve. Some come back hurting. We help. Heroes survive. We honor them. Heroes fall. We remember them. 150,000 veterans live in Jacksonville. We serve them. We're the Military Affairs and Veterans Department, City of Jacksonville. Because of them, our light never dims.